The Hangouts. Let's see if I can get it over here. I'm reloading. I should go to pop out too. There we go. Let's see if I can get it over here. Oops. Oh, if I could tell you. Hi, Pia. Okay, we'll wait a few seconds. Woo. Happy Valentine's Day. Waiting for the tractor, the chicken, the whatever. Yes, thank you. Yes, we're celebrating Valentine's Day, aren't we, dear?
Yep.
Yeah. So, hi, New Day Farm. Happy Valentine's Day. And tonight's lesson, as you saw, we're going to start with the 10 mistakes new beekeepers make. And I'll keep things rolling, you know. And what's I going to say? Oh, it's a presentation, and some of you have written and asked for handouts. I'm getting to that. Trust me. It's just with this YouTube thing, I've been watching videos 24/7, helping people watching videos. Been up almost night and day. So it's been very, very busy. I've been busy with that, but I shouldn't make any excuses. So how's everybody? There's just the two of you here. Okay, 5 watching, 2 here. Okay, we should start.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. You two get a gold star for being on time. How's that? I give a gold star for being on time. Okay. Have 2 tomatoes on my plate. Get out. Where are you, Pia? She's in the South somewhere. I bet she's in the South.
She's not in the Arctic.
She's not up here. I can tell her. We don't even have tomatoes in the market up here. Wow, in a pot. Can you just tell us where you are before we start, Pia? Am I saying that right, Pia? Hi, Super Gardener. Okay, where are you? Berkeley, California. Okay, well, we're going to start with our lesson. And then we'll chit-chat later, okay? Because we got to keep things going. Keep things going because everybody's going to be a beekeeper, right? We're all going to be beekeepers. So now, oh dear, here we go. That's the chat. Screen share. Okay. Oh boy. Application. This one. And share. Hi, Bob Homestead. Okay, here we go. When you see it, I will start. Let me go up. Okay. Now, at the very top, well, the title is The New Beekeeper, Things That May Go Wrong. These are just things that may go wrong. And then we're going to focus on parasites and that stuff later. But I came across this in my research today, and there are a lot of people, thank you, Bob. There are a lot of people that are in North Carolina, and this is from the North Carolina State Beekeepers Association. And they have different levels of certificates. And if you read, and I'm going to click on this, I believe it'll take me there. Okay. Their state legislature just passed a law for a grant. That's free money, folks, to beekeepers for purchasing supplies, but you must be certified. Okay? The first level of certification only requires a written test and an oral hive inspection examination. Now, I'm going to go to the link. Go to the page here. You should be able to see it. Oh, I see it. It's a coming.
One person wants to know the email address. Which one are we using for
the printouts? Can you verify? Yes, it's
I can type it.
Yeah, go ahead. The Bee Lady Apiary at AOL.com. Okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for this to come up. Is a screen share up there? Not yet? Okay, you know what? Maybe I need to screen share it. No? Well, I'll screen share it. Hold on, folks, because you really got to see this. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to get fancy dancy, as they say. I'm going to click on here. I'm going to stop that. I'm going to go here and screen share. Whoops, come on back over here. Screen share, application, this one, share. This is the link, okay? Hi, it's me gaming. Hello. This is the link for the North Carolina State Beekeepers Association. Hi, Rocky Wolf. Good to see you. Spread the word for anybody in North Carolina. They have this great program there, which I wish they had here. And all you got to do is take some of they have different levels. They have master beekeeping program. But the first one is just a certified beekeeper. And everybody we know in North Carolina can be a certified beekeeper. They can take this test and then they can apply for one of those grants and they can get free beekeeping stuff like tools and things that they need. So for anybody I'm going to keep on the lookout for other places that have it, because you never know. And they have, like I said, different levels. And you can go up in levels, and then sometimes you can even be certified to teach in different areas. So I'm going to go back to our lesson, but that's just something I wanted to show so that everybody would know, be on the same page there. Well, know what's available out there. Okay, so moving along. Here we go. Let me scroll this up so everybody can see a little better. Okay, so before I go on with this, I would like you to remember one word. Is it synthesis when you're mixing everything together? Somebody give me a word. Anyway.
I'm not sure how you're mixing.
Well, remember, we went through the whole process of being a successful beekeeper, what it's going to take, your equipment, choosing your bees, where you're going to put your bees. And this whole, the purpose of this whole session is to make sure you are successful, no matter how you begin, okay? Just so you know. And at the end, we do have a Facebook page. It's out there. Trust me, folks. It's to have an interactive Facebook page so you can get on there and talk to myself. I have a few other beekeepers lined up to kind of help out a little bit. And remember, in the one lesson, we talked about language, having the beekeeping vocabulary. So you're going to want to know the beekeeping vocabulary, okay? When you start telling us what's going on. So, number one for the 10 mistakes new beekeepers make. Assessing a beehive's health by how many bees are flying in and out. So, some new beekeepers, they go, oh, wow, this is great. The bees are flying all over the place. Everything is wonderful. Okay. It is a good practice for new beekeepers to observe their hives from the outside on a weekly or better yet, daily basis. You can gather useful, and here we go. I rushed through this because it's Valentine's Day. I'm not going to information by doing this. You might see that your bees are bringing in, oh, I'm so sorry, it's Valentine's Day, bringing in pollen, or you might catch ants making an effort to go into your hive. Okay. It is a good idea to keep notes every time you observe your hives and to keep notes so you can become familiar with what is normal for your bees in a specific hive as far as heavy traffic in and out and or the number of dead bees at the entrance of the hive. Now, what that means basically is, and I just want to get a little bit more into that, is say if you have two hives, hive number one, hive number two. Hi, Pickerick. Hi, Pickerick. I put that up there on North Carolina. You want to go? I don't know if you're aware of that, Rick. You can become a certified beekeeper. I hope he's in North Carolina. I think he is. I just forget. Yeah, free money. Okay, bye, Pia. Good to see you. Anyway, if your bees are coming and going and all of a sudden they're not doing anything, there are a few at the entrance, then that's going to tell you something. And a 50-cent composition book at a discount store is good enough, okay? Anyway, any changes in these behaviors or numbers may help you know that something else might be going on inside your hive that is not normal or typical for that specific hive. I'll check that out, Bee Lady. Yes, Picker. If you go back on this, I don't know if you can put in that link. I'll put the link in the description, but if you go back on this video, I actually brought up the page and there are different levels of certification. Okay. Any changes in these behaviors or numbers may help you know that something else might be going on inside your hive that is not normal or typical for that specific hive. For example, you may have one hive that is always very busy, coming and going, and if suddenly the number of bees slows down, it might indicate that something has changed inside the hive. There is no replacement for thorough hive inspections. That means, folks, you got to get in those hives, okay? And when you do a hive inspection, it has to be thorough. You can't say, well, I looked at the top and everything looked good. All righty? Sometimes beginning beekeepers may notice changes on the outside. And when they open their hive, the problem, whatever it is, has progressed to the point of doing a lot of damage. So, even though it's a good idea, you say, well, they're slowing down. I'll give them a few more days. Maybe they're not flying because it's cloudy. Not a good idea, folks. You see something, get in there and see what's going on, okay? New beekeepers will gain experience and confidence by performing regular hive inspections. The recommendation for new beekeepers is often that they perform a hive inspection once every 2 to 4 weeks, but no more than that. Inspecting your beehives, which is opening up their home and disturbing it, is stressful for your bees. Just think if somebody came into your house, okay, and start taking everything apart and then putting everything back. You wouldn't like it. So you kind of think of it like that, okay? Inspections may also upset the atmospheric conditions within a hive. In addition, it is more likely that new bee colonies, which are hives, are less stable than older established ones. So you have a new beehive, you brought it home, it's a swarm, it's a nuke, it's a package, all right? And it's new, it's getting used to everything. You can't be in there every other day. I mean, you can, but it's not the best thing to do, okay? So, and don't worry, I think our next lesson is going to be hive inspection because I don't know, I've gotten some feedback, some people, I found out that Pickerick has some has a whole stream of videos. And I've been watching so many other videos helping out people that I haven't had a chance to get over there. But maybe if I see a good one on a hive inspection over there or get him to recommend one, we can use that. Because we don't have a good one on a hive inspection. There's no sense in that. I have to see what YouTube needs. Hi, Susan. Good to see you. I have to see what YouTube wants because, with the new rules, you can't use anybody else's stuff unless I have it signed in blood or something.
I haven't read all the rules.
But I'll find out. Number 2, hi, the Simple Joys. Good to see you. Not recognizing your hive as queenless. This is a big one, folks. This is a big one. This is often the one biggest mistake new beekeepers make. Sometimes this is because new beekeepers may think that their beehives who have lost their queen will make a drastic change in behavior that will alert them, hey, our queen is gone. Even if your hive's queen is gone, you will see a lot of bee traffic going in and out. And during an inspection, you will see honey and a lot of bees inside. This causes them to think everything is just fine. At first, your beehive will look normal, but without a queen to lay eggs, the hive's bee population will begin to gradually decline. Your first sign is, take that out, is you will not be, I'm going to put a B in there. There we go. Seeing any eggs and then no larva. What that means is, you go by, and you say, well, everything's fine. And then you do your hive inspection, load it with bees, and they've got honey and all this stuff going on. And you think everything's fine. But if you don't see any eggs or larvae, and remember, we said larvae are those little round things that look like tiny, tiny maggots, but they just don't have the jelly over them. They're not capped. Okay?
If you see eggs, which are the little things that look like a tiny grain of rice, you know that the queen has been there within 3 days because they only stay eggs for 3 days. So if you see them, you know she's been there recently. You can be relatively certain that you've got a queen there, and she's good.
Right. And remember, we spoke in one of the previous sessions about finding your queen when you first put it in. When you first put in your, we're going to say nuclear package, because she's going to have a little dot on her, the color of the year, whatever color it is, a fluorescent dot on her head. Yeah, us too, Pickerick. And you got to find her. She's bigger than all the other bees. Okay. A beehive cannot survive without its queen. And you can take that to the bank. Okay. Every day, some of your worker bees will die of old age. What's the lifespan of a
7
worker?
weeks.
7 weeks. After 7 weeks, folks, that worker bee is gone.
6 to 7.
6 to 7. And they will not be replaced. The population will start to noticeably become less. You may see an increase in honey and pollen because without any brood, the nurse bees don't have anything to do. So they will begin foraging and bringing in pollen. If your beehive is without a queen for too long, you will reach a point that can't be fixed. Your worker bees may very well begin laying eggs in a last-ditch effort to save the hive. And because worker bees cannot lay fertilized eggs, their eggs can only produce drones. The queen is the only bee in the hive that is fertilized. Okay. So you're going to have laying workers. Something happens to their body parts, and they, in a last desperate attempt to save the hive, they start laying. Remember, bees are programmed to self-survival. So you're going to have all these drones in there. And drones only eat and fertilize the queen. So your hive is on a path of extinction. See, laying workers and fertilize. I'm going to take that out. And when you get laying workers, I recommend that you check out Jerome's bee yard. We solved laying workers one time. We talk about it. And I don't know. I'll have to check Pickerick. He's in here. If he has ever solved them. But that's, to me, I call it the kiss of death. So you got another thing you may want to do is be able to distinguish between brood that is worker brood and brood that is drone brood. Drone brood is larger. Now, there are frames that are made specifically for drone brood in that the cells are bigger. I think we have some.
Yes, we have a couple.
Now, yeah. This is something I don't know. If we put in, if you're not sure if you have a queen, what if you put drone frames? And anybody in the chat can answer. What if you put, we figured it out once, Pickerick. What if you put the big drone frames in there as a test? And will the queen lay drone? No, will the workers only go to the drones?
I don't know, frames? But I don't think it's worth the effort.
Not worth the effort. Okay.
The drone brood has a bullet-shaped cap on it, so it protrudes up further from the comb than regular worker bee cappings, which are almost flat. So once you see the worker, once you see the drone brood, the larva, what it looks like, you can see it online if we haven't shown it to you.
Yeah, I gotta write that down.
Then you'll pretty much remember it, because it is definitely different.
I gotta write that down, because I have to look for hive inspection and then to show them the different broods. Now, here's one thing you can do. Here's one thing you can do, folks. Various bee places now sell queen pheromone. It's a little strip. Looks like about the thickness of yarn. About an inch, maybe? About an inch, okay?
Couple inches.
What you can do is take those frames of eggs out of there and put in, tack in one of these pheromones. And will that reverse the, that might help. But
I don't know.
That has saved us. What is it, like a 2-week window you have to get before they'll start laying? Anybody in the chat know?
They know the queen's not there within 3 days.
For
sure.
Okay. All right.
I don't remember how much time you have.
Okay, I'm writing, folks, what we're gonna do. Laying workers. Okay.
It's just an unpleasant experience.
Yeah, and we we don't want to. We need to nip this in the bud. We did. And you can go over that at the end of the chat. So I'm going to speed on here so you can. We did solve it one time. We tried a couple of ways. Yeah, and then I got to ask Rick for an inspection video. Okay, yeah. But you can solve it. But it's only like $7 or $8 or something. That pheromone for a queen, folks.
That's if you know you've lost one and you put it in right away. That gives you time to buy a queen.
Right, but
that's all.
Or the get to that later. Because no, that wouldn't work. Putting in eggs from another hive because they already have a queen, they're going to kill it anyway. I would order that stuff and keep it in your fridge. You have to keep it in the fridge, okay? That's just me because I'm a precaution type of person. Okay, moving on. Number 3, another mistake: leaving out frames or placing empty supers. I don't know why people do this, but as a new beekeeper, you will quickly learn that your bees will build comb in any empty space you give them. Bee hives are built to take this into consideration, and each part fits perfectly so that your bees will build only in the spaces you want them to build in. The traditional Langstroth hives are built to hold either 8 or 10 frames. We've never used 8. We only use 10. We don't have any preference for either. I've never seen 8. So if you put less frames in your hive box than it's made to hold, your bees will build honeycomb in the empty space. If you add a super without frames to your hive, you will end up with a whole super filled with cross comb attached to the roof of your hive. This may be a challenging situation to fix, and there is really no reason to do it. Therefore, it may be better to add the proper number of frames to your hives. One exception is if you're Biddy Boom Boom. One exception is if you're a new beekeeper on this, okay? One exception to this would be after hive inspection, you may want to use 9 frames instead of 10 on a 10-frame box. And as long as you space them out evenly, this would be okay. This would give you more room to inspect your frames. Now, as a new beekeeper, what this means is, okay, the bees are going to fill in everything. So you're going to be, often you may be prying apart frames in there that are stuck together. So to try to get a little more, make it easy on yourself, you can use 9 and a 10, but just make sure they're evenly spaced. Okay. Have we done that? I have never done it.
I'm sorry. What?
Have we used 9 and a 10?
I have a couple of times when they built the comb out so much, it was difficult to get all 10 frames back. Yeah, sometimes, those bees fill up every space. Okay, so for the new beekeepers, use 9. All right. No, use 10. Well, the new beekeepers, if they want extra, new beekeepers are a little shy of prying, they're learning how to use the hive tool. They're learning how to get the frames out, and if they have a lot of bees in there, they might be a little nervous. Okay, well, if you leave extra space, though, they're going to build. Well, yeah, but if you put them like you space them all out, 9 and 10, might work. Yeah, it might work. Harvesting honey too early or taking too much honey. This is a big one. Everybody goes, oh, we're going to have bees, we're going to have honey. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't rob your bees. In the beginning, it may prove challenging to know how much honey you should take from one of your hives and also when to take it away. A general rule is not to take honey from a beehive its first year. And a lot of folks don't want to hear that. They're like, no, I got to have honey. But it's a rule. Usually these bees, any bees you get, you're going to get a nuke, you're going to get a package, and even if you get a swarm, okay, usually the bees are not strong enough yet to make an excess amount, and they will probably need all they have in order to survive through winter. If your colony is strong and has plentiful stores, how much you can harvest varies greatly by geographical location. Be conservative. Seek advice from local beekeepers on how much honey should be left with the bees. Now, if you're in sunny Texas or Louisiana, your bees aren't going to be facing 0 degrees, 10 below, and what our bees are facing up here. Hopefully. Okay. So if it's going to be warm all the time, your bees may only go into a cluster 2 or 3 times a winter. I was watching a channel today, and I don't remember the name. I have it in my notes because I'm going to reference him. And he is in Texas. And right now, 2 days ago, his bees are flying. He's got pollen. He's got capped honey. And I thought, oh, my goodness, look at this. And a little bit off the subject, but we spoke about, or I brought up the concept of putting a frame in there, or putting a frame box in there with no frame, no foundation, I should say, and what would happen. Well, they don't have an extractor. And so what they're doing is on a 10 frame super, they put 5 frames with foundation, 5 frames without foundation, and then the frames without foundation that are wax and honey, they take those out, cut around the outside. There goes all the wax and everything, but they put it in a strainer and use like a potato masher to mash it down, and they do their honey like that. They have a little bit of wax in their honey, but then they do something to it, heat it or something, and the wax floats to the top. Okay, I go for green. Good to see you. Okay, so I looked at it and I thought, well, I don't really know if I like that idea, but that's what they do. So it can be done. Number 5, not feeding new colonies. It could very well be that some beekeepers feed their bees sugar water just a tad too often, but one very important exception is that when you buy a package of bees, you must feed them. Now, here's a note on the economy. It used to be several years ago, packaged bees were about half the price, remember? Yeah. Half the price of nukes. Now they're almost the same price. So somebody tell me what happened, okay? Now they're almost the same price. In fact, just about the same price. The only difference is
Some places that sell bees will only sell packages. Some places will only sell nukes. Some will sell both. So, and some will only sell one particular type of a bee in packages. Anyway, packaged bees are confused. Remember, we spoke about this. They're weak and they do not have any honey. They don't have anything, just the bees. They don't even know their queen. Remember that. We spoke about that. It will take at least a month of constant feeding to get them on their feet. If you do not do this, most likely you will lose your bees in the fall. Unless you live in a very nectar-rich area, you typically must feed new nuke colonies as well. If for any reason you are hesitant to feed your nuke, try letting them sit unfed for a week and then inspect to see if they are building any new comb. If they are not, you need to feed them. Notice he didn't suggest that you do that with a package, because with a nuke you can do that because you're going to have some honey and comb in there already. So you can take that risk. All right. With packaged bees, if you do that, you might start losing stuff. Feeding stimulates beginning colonies of honeybees to build new comb and increase their population by the queen-laying brood. It is imperative that new colonies do these activities in the spring so that they have a decent chance to survive the winter. When it comes to feeding swarms you have caught, it may not be necessary, but if you notice your swarm getting smaller, you may have to begin feeding them. Many beekeepers recommend feeding swarms as well. I wanted to comment on something here, yada, 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 yada. Oh, we are in the process of getting pollen, which the queen uses to lay the eggs, whatever, however she does it, right?
Well, they have to feed her.
Feed her, yeah. They have to feed her pollen, then she gets going with the eggs.
And they have to feed pollen to
and they have to feed pollen to the larva. So we're going to jumpstart our hives and get them out there going early in the spring by getting pollen patties or making them, one or the other, and start feeding them in the next couple of weeks. Get them going now, folks. They got to start now. Okay. Number 7, believe it or not. Oops, wrong mouse. Okay.
Wonder 5 to 7.
I sure did. I don't know what 6 was. What was 6? I'll go back and find out what 6 was.
It flew away.
It flew away. Oh my goodness. Folks, I have no idea what 6 was. Maybe it's combined. I'll find out what 6 was. Hi, Jerome Bee Farm and Homestead. Good to see you.
Go down and see what your next number is real quick.
7. Oh, no,
After
it's
7.
going to be 8
okay.
and 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to find it. I don't know where 6 went. How did I do that? It's Valentine's Day. That's how I did that, folks.
Yep.
Anyway, not wearing a proper bee suit, gloves, and veil. All righty. New beekeepers may have an idealized view of what beekeeping will be like. And this goes, I want to say something about this. This goes for more than the bee suit, the gloves, and the veil. Okay, it's like anything else, folks. You don't know if you're going to like having chickens until you get them. You don't know if you're going to like having a goat till you get one. You don't know. So beekeepers are sometimes, they see people out there and they have bare hands and they're out there with a baseball cap on and they're just taking care of their bees. Okay. They have seen videos of experienced beekeepers inspecting their hives with no bee suit on, and they think they can do the same. The truth is, even seasoned beekeepers get stung when they are not wearing their suit, but they have experience in keeping their bees calm and what to do if they are not calm. This is something you might learn over time, but for now, it's better to be safe. Wear all of your beekeeping protection. Even if you are not allergic to bees, too many stings have the ability to send you to the hospital. Just because your bees were calm during one inspection does not mean they will always be calm. They may change. Okay? Bee temperament is influenced by many things, so resist the temptation to make decisions based on only a few hive inspections. It's going to take time to get to know your bees, and even then, anything unknown to you but known to them may cause them to behave differently. If they're not happy, they're going to, you don't know. It could be, the slightest thing. If you're expecting a thunderstorm and your the pressure drops, they're sensitive to that, folks. Okay. When you're out there as a new beekeeper, and I said this in some of the live streams we did from the bee yard with our equipment, if you can hear it last year, the best we could. But anyway, I'm always saying have confidence in your equipment. Have confidence in your equipment. You've got your gloves, your bee suit, your veil. You're suited up. You have to have confidence. You can't get stung or a bee gets on your hand and go, panic. You panic, everybody's going to panic. You're going to panic. You're going to start breathing. You're going to start breathing fast. We spoke about this. You're going to start exhaling a lot of carbon dioxide. Okay. Mm-hmm. Bees are attracted to that. So it's a vicious cycle. You got to stay calm. Okay. You're helping them. Okay. You're helping them. All right. Not using your smoker. Now, no one can ever say I don't do this because I tend to oversmoke the bees. I love smoking our bees. Someone told my husband that smoking your bees sets them back 2 weeks.
3 days.
Oh, 2 days?
3
days. Well, I must set them back a year because I just smoke them. Okay. Not using your smoker. New beekeepers who want to be natural. And we're going to talk about this in a future lesson because I read on this. I want to do natural beekeeping. I don't want to do anything, like smoking my bees. I want everything to be natural. Okay, fine. Beekeepers who want to be natural are sometimes reluctant to use their smoker. The smoke makes the bees think a wildfire is near and triggers them to gorge on honey. Remember, we talked about this. The bees do this so that if they need to evacuate, they do not lose all their honey. It keeps them distracted from what you are doing. And the smell of the smoke also blocks chemical signals the bees send to one another. Signals that might organize a defense attack against you. I want to stop here. Remember, folks, if you ever see your bees lined up, 5 or more, 3 or more, looking at you, they're going to attack. I mean, you think they're looking at you, but if you see that on the top of a frame or something when you're, they should just be moving around. But if they all just line up, smoke them because they're getting ready. They're coming at you. Okay. Signals that might organize a defense attack against you. To a new beekeeper, this can all sound pretty stressful. It might lead them to believe that they are better off not smoking their bees. Or maybe the beekeeper just did not know exactly what the smoke did. And they are taken by surprise when the bees attack them. When you do not use your smoker, the bees will likely react defensively. They will sting your bee suit and they will die. Remember, they're coming at your face or to your veil. Why are they coming at your veil? Because remember, we said they're coming after your carbon dioxide that you are exhaling. And I can't wait to get down there because I'm going to put a mask on. I got a little white mask. I'm going to see if that'll stop them. You may end up killing a large number of bees in this way, and you could also endanger your neighbors if the bees become really angry. If your neighbors are getting stung each time you inspect your beehives, they may grow weary of tolerating you having bees. They may report you to the city or try to destroy your hive. There are some other options to smoke that some folks think are less stressful to use. Essential oil and water mixed together, essential oil and water mixed together can be used as a spray on your bees, or you can also lightly spray with a sugar water mix. I've tried that on occasion. If you are going to try one of these methods, it might be wise to have a smoker at the ready in case you need it. I will just say that not only do I have a smoker, but I have some of those pellets that I can drop down the opening in the smoker. They're made where they'll fit right down there and get a huge gust of smoke. Okay. In case, the smoker's going out and I'm telling my husband, the smoker's going out, well, I make sure I have it ready to go. Okay. Let's see here. Whoopsie daisy. Yes. Oh, I've got mail. Okay, moving on. Number 9, starting with just one colony. Okay. Most experienced, there we go, beekeepers recommend that you start with at least 2 beehives. Taking care of 2 hives instead of 1 will not take that much more work. And it has several advantages. First, when you have 2 colonies, you learn more. Having the opportunity to compare 2 hives side by side will give you the chance to learn twice as much. Perhaps you will want to try 2 different hive styles or 2 different breeds of bees. You might compare the success of a nuke versus a package. Second, having 2 hives will give you the advantage of using 1 hive to help the other if necessary. If one of your new beehives is weak and the other one is strong, you can take some brood, a frame of your brood from 1 hive from the strong colony to help build up your weak beehive. Also, if you lose your queen in 1 beehive, you got to make sure she's not there, okay? And they do not make a new one. You can take a frame of brood from 1 hive and try to make the hive, make the hive. Here we go. Without a queen, make a queen from them. Remember, a queen can only be made from eggs that are laid by a queen. So you got to get the eggs out of a hive that has a queen and put them in a hive that doesn't have a queen. And then they can make a queen out of that. Okay? Does everybody understand that? Did I say that right? You got to take it out of a hive that has the queen, a frame of eggs. Put it in the hive that you're sure there's no queen over there, okay? And then they should be able to take one of those eggs and nurse it and feed it and make it a queen. Remember, they can only make a queen from eggs that are laid by a queen. Finally, unfortunately, new beekeepers often lose their hives. Having 2 beehives gives you a better chance of keeping 1 alive in your first year. Now, nobody wants to lose their bees. Nobody. We don't like losing our bees, but we do. I mean, it happens, folks. You do the best you can do, and I don't know what to tell you. You just lose them. For one, I mean, there's so many ways to lose a bee. To lose bees, it's sometime write a book on it. But we do the best we can do. All right? That's why we're beekeepers, all of us. Number 10, and this is a really important one. Being satisfied with a limited knowledge of beekeeping. Oh, I know it all. I know it all. I got bees. I'm an expert. Like I told you in the beginning, if somebody told you they're a beekeeping expert, turn the other way. Okay? Because nobody is a beekeeping expert. No one knows everything. And there are people that don't have bees that may know a lot that you don't know. Never turn down information. Always keep notes. Always keep reading. Always keep observing. And, there are all kinds of different sites on books, the library, YouTube is a good source. Ask fellow beekeepers, what did you do about that? And how did that work? And just find out. You can't be an expert with, just like you can't be an expert raising kids. Anybody tells you they know how to raise kids perfectly, I want to see them. Okay. You can't be an expert with bees. Bees are an enigma, but they're lovable little creatures and we love them. And I just found out how many eyes do they have?
5.
Bees have 5 eyes. I've never been able to find them all, but they got 5.
2 in the front.
2 in the front.
Like us, and 3 on top.
And 3 on top. So they're looking at you when you go down there. Okay. So new beekeepers may be totally happy with not understanding what they are looking at when they go into their hives to do a hive inspection. They usually just go into their beehives to take away honey or to be sure there are still bees alive in there. Although you may find this is shocking, surveys show this is a large number of beginner beekeepers. Bees are really, truly interesting insects. And although you can become overwhelmed with all of the information on beekeeping available, it is better than not taking an interest in at all. That's interesting. I'll have to change that later. If neglected and not treated correctly, your bees will either swarm or die. They'll leave or die. And when they die fast. Okay. It's not like nursing a chicken or a goat. It's like one day they're there and the next day and they all die together. That's the sad thing. You know, they all die together. Both actions are not happy outcomes. Keep learning and enjoy your bees. And I can't say enough about that. You can always, always learn. Now, hi, Practical Outdoors. We're going to go back in case you have questions, or B-Man can tell you how we did our laying workers, which I've forgotten. Oh, look at there. Oh, hello. Anybody interested in how he did our laying workers? We did solve it. I mean, we did.
Once.
Not to say it'll work the next time, but we got a handle on it. Grandpa's Place, I'm with you on the email. Today's Valentine's Day. It's a national holiday, okay? B-Man is smiling. He came through.
There you go.
Oh, boy. But I'm with you, Grandpa's Place. Okay, tell him how you did the laying workers. Okay. I'll man the chat. You do the laying workers.
I think we've only saved 1 out of 3 times that we had a laying worker hive. The one time was last summer. I had started a nuke from one of our own hives. So we had a nuke with a queen and so on. 5 frames. And when we had laying workers, the procedure was we removed all of the frames that had the drone brood on them, all of those frames, to get them out of there. And I put the nuke on top in a new deep on top of newspaper on top of the hive. So old hive with frames in it without the brood, put in substitute frames, and put the nuke on top above newspaper so that the hives were separated. And I had I gave them an entrance with popsicle sticks out the back. So the reverse, I had them coming and going the reverse direction of the main hive entrance, which was that way, and they were going that way on the top. And it worked. The 2 hives merged. The queen from the nuke successfully took over, and the hive is still going today. It's one of the ones that survived the winter so far. So it worked for us, but only once out of 3 times. That was our 3rd time we tried that. A lot of people do say if you've got a laying worker hive, just forget it. It's not worth the trouble. But since that worked once, we're liable to try it again, being optimistic.
Now, I honestly didn't understand what you said, but I'm sure somebody may have. So what I'm going to do, folks, is I will have him, have him write it up. I'll type it up and I'll put it on the next screen share, okay? I know, Grandpa's Place. I was going to do it today, but today's a national holiday. Today's a national holiday, Grandpa's Place. You'll see the email. It's coming. It's coming. Okie who? Oh, another beekeeper. Okay. All right. I didn't know that. Hold on. Let me make sure.
Well, there's always somebody
I've got them all.
Who's got better techniques.
Yes. Yes. That. Oh, wow. He must be. You go. Oh, Okie Rob. Okay, Okie Rob. Okay. Okie. Does he do anybody? Does he do live streams? I just subbed to him. I got you, Okie. Yeah, you know, it's funny. You know, folks, I have COPD and also allergies, you know, inhalers and the whole nine. I don't use the inhalers anymore. I got tired of them. You know, I carry a rescue one in case I need it. I just got tired of the whole thing. I take some of the medication, but you know, like Claritin if I really need it. But I carry an EpiPen, and I've been stung, and I'm still here. I'm fine. So I don't know. You're gonna get stung. You know, I mean that's just it. And you get your information from Okie. Okay. And I have to think of the name of that other. You know what? I bet you I can find it now. Can you watch that? I have to. I want to find the name of that other channel because it was.
Oh yeah, Benadryl's good to start to begin with. Yeah, that's good to keep.
What was the name of that channel?
It's cheaper than the EpiPen.
Yeah. And we got ours before they oh, for goodness sakes. I can't find it. I'll have it next week. I found he's in Texas. Anybody there in Texas? This one beekeeper. He's in Texas. Another one. So we're getting a nice group here. Oh, Daniel, you understood that? Good. Okay. Any other questions? I'm going to type up that about land workers. I think anybody volunteer that has a other Pickerick, I know you have to have one. Any of you channels have a good stream on hive inspections going through that you can come here and share it. Anybody. Come on, don't be shy. We're not going to go do one. It's snow up here. Anybody have a video on hive inspections? Beekeepers. And then we can arrange. Anybody? Jerome, Rick. Yeah. I'm waiting. You know, I'll do this. Whoops, not working. Okay, Rob, do you? You do? Okay. Hey. Okay, Jerome.
Backwoods, if you're gonna catch a swarm this spring,
okay,
make sure
Jerome.
you set up for that early. They start swarming up in our neck of the woods, which is, of course, northern New York, in May. So if you're further south, then you may have to set up your swarm attractors, whatever you're going to use, earlier, April or March, depending on what happens in your area.
HT, how am I can't spell THOUGHT. Wow. Jerome, I've been watching your videos. I have a question about pulling out those tree stumps. We do. You cut them down to the ground, and you just left them like at the ground. Did they die after that? You cut them down to the ground with the what was that thing you had? Chainsaw. Yeah. You cut them down to the ground, Jerome Bee Farms, and then that was it. So did they die? What happened? I'll check Pickerick. I'm going to be scouring everybody's because we don't have one. They were already dead. I cut it ground so I can mow over them.
We don't have one.
He's saying, he's answering. Remember I showed you how he did the stumps?
Yeah.
He said they were dead.
Yeah.
Dutch,
oh yeah, he cut him at ground level so he can mow, that's what I thought he was.
Yeah, but doing. Our mowers would scrape them.
Well, Obviously, he's mowing higher.
He's mowing higher?
Yeah, he cut him at ground level.
Okay, I like to cut. I almost scalp our lawn because are you talking about hanging my hives or trying to extract? No, Grandpa's Place. I'm talking about the way they actually do it in Africa. People are going back to having hives in trees. They're round, like a tree trunk.
Well, some are.
Yeah.
In Africa, they use tree trunks that have been hollowed out. That's literally in Africa. The monk, whatever he was, Buckfast Abbey guy.
Is that him? I bet you that's him.
He went to Africa.
Hold on, Susan. Susan, I'm telling you, this girl and I, Blake Kirby, I'm almost positive that's him. Positive.
Okay.
Yep, that's him. There it's. Oh, Susan, you're psychic. Blake Kirby, that's the one I watched. Blake Kirby. Right? How'd you know? Oh my goodness, Blake Kirby. That's who it was. I couldn't remember his name. He's the one, his sons, they don't have an extractor. So what they're doing is they're the ones that are using the open frames. And if you go on there, you can see how they cut out, it's like square and they're cutting out everything. But I understand what everybody's saying is once you do that, like we just uncap ours like with it looks like almost a fork. We just like scrape them off. We don't use a hot knife or anything. We take very little out. And at the end, we end up with a big bowl of like wax and honey and everything that we cart right back down there. So our bees have them to use. He's live Saturday. Yes, Blake Kirby is awesome. Awesome. And his sons have, they're on the hives. And I just sat there. I was mesmerized. Just, I don't know. I have to ask him what kind of gloves those are. He has these gloves, these purple gloves that he's using. And he is. Also, just like that program in North Carolina, folks, I'm looking at anything like that where beekeepers can get grants or get certified or something. Hey, you never know. Here in New York, they want us to make mead and sell mead with a liquor license in the front.
Oh yeah, our association is going to have a training class on mead making in the next month sometime.
Yeah, we better go check that out. I've never made mead. I don't know what it tastes like. So Harbor Freight goatskin welding gloves. Really? Harbor Freight goatskin. Welding gloves. They're kind of I don't know. I don't know. The thing is that it takes so much effort for the bees to make the foundation that, it's a fine balance between taking everything away from them. And, it really is tough. Honey vinegar? Never made honey vinegar.
No, I'm not aware of.
No.
Actually, I don't know.
Yes,
I don't think I've ever heard of honey vinegar.
Blake, I sat there like half a day just watching his videos. I was amazed. And yours too, Jerome. You have a very organized garage with your beekeeping stuff. That's all I'm going to say. He is very organized.
Hey.
Some folks do. We go like this in our beekeeping stuff. What's over there, dear? You get a lot of stuff. It's tough. We're taking an inventory now to get ready for setting them all out. Although I didn't catch your little hive, what happened with that, Jerome? I'll ask him. Did your little hive make it? His little hive, I got to ask. He had that little hive he was worried about. I thought it might. Did your little hive make it? Could have merged that. He's in the right temperature. He could have merged that with another hive. You can merge two hives with a queen, right? Just put the newspaper on top.
Yeah, depending on conditions, but theoretically,
little hive was bringing in pollen today. See, I told you. I saw that little hive. I said that hive is going to make it. That hive is going to make it. I could just tell. Aha! See, women in this chat. Women know these things. Okay, I reduced it to a nuke and wrapped it. Yep, I thought so. Okay, I got to go watch more. Okay, Practical Outdoors. Good for you. Good for you, Susan. All right, get right on top of that thing and inhale, inhale. Okay, I think that's it. It's a little after 9. So we're going to go now. And next week, we're going to have somebody's video on hive inspections. We don't have one on hive inspections because usually when we inspect our hives, there's an issue. We get down to the first box, it's like, uh-oh, something's not right, so yes, that's right. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to look into the write-up on laying workers. We'll have that, and how long you have if you don't have a queen and you don't have brood. Okay? So we will see you next week. Okay. Everybody, thank you for stopping by. Good night. Take care. And keep raising those bees. Okay? Let me just get this here. Bye.